Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Happy Black Friday. So this is going to be my Jessica Jones episode 9 through 12 video. Everything through beginning of Sin Bin all the way through Jessica Jones versus Luke Cage. So here we go. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen through Jessica Jones on episode 12 yet, but one of my favorite episodes was number 9 because we learned so much about Kilgrave. We learned that he was abused as a child and essentially left to fend on his own. Like they just left him on the street. His parents took off, they were so afraid. To be fair to his mother, she had that giant burn from the iron on her face to show exactly what had happened. But he says, well, I didn't know what was going on. I was a little child. So if he's a psychopath that has zero empathy for everyone else, like he has no idea what everyone else is feeling because he's never able to tell whether or not people are doing what he asks because they want to or because of his powers. He did make it seem like as an adult he could choose to not use his powers on people, but just to use some Doctor Who logic, the Doctor lies. I'm guessing that it's a passive ability that he doesn't really have control over. It's always on. The way his father explains it, like the origin of Kilgrave, so to speak, is that he had a degenerative brain condition. They introduced a very special experimental virus, and even though that fixed him, the side effect is that he started to emit this virus that just caused everyone to listen to whatever suggestions he gave them. Now here's the deal, because eventually he tries to amp his powers up. There's a degree of proximity involved, and it's not psychic. He actually has to speak the words, which is why they use the headphones in later episodes. So think of him as being like a biocomputer hacker. Like if you were to walk by him in a crowd, there's nothing you could do to stop him from uploading the virus to you, but as long as you can't hear what he says, he cannot input commands, so you're still okay to go. So it's not so much the virus you need to worry about, it's him giving you commands while you're affected by the virus. And I know a lot of people think that that person by the club is stuck forever staring at that fence because he did tell him that when his powers were enhanced. As long as it wore off within like a week or so, he probably would not die from dehydration. You can go without food a lot longer than you can go without water, but he's probably okay. He probably survived. Isn't it crazy though, like all throughout the series, even in the earlier episodes, how Jessica runs into people who aren't able to fulfill their commands, so they just go crazy, like Patty trying to put the bullet in her head. So Jessica has to like literally put the bullet in her mouth. See, it's in your head, you can stop now. You guys can let me know if you agree or not though. Don't you feel like the last couple of episodes start to get more and more graphic, like the stuff that Kilgrave does, like the way he kills his father and the way he dealt with the other two dudes that he stole the apartment from? The 1,000 cuts to Jaren Hogarth did feel like it was justified, like she definitely got what she deserved, but that whole storyline felt a little contrived, like it was only there to give him a way to get out. They set her up to be like, okay, I'm gonna turn this off and release him, then it all goes sideways. Kilgrave ends up killing his mother, which was also one of the more graphic killings. Stab yourself for every year that you left me alone. Kilgrave getting out, Will Simpson burning down all the evidence. It all feels like the story's just trying to give Jessica more reasons to have to kill Kilgrave. Like, they won't have the evidence against him because it all got burnt down, so they can't prosecute him. And Kilgrave's powers start to go off the scale, so he's able to mind control people at great distances. I know everybody's asking about IGH and Officer Simpson because he's definitely Nuke from the comics. He's kind of like an early proto version of the Punisher, but because we have the Punisher in the Netflix universe, I'm not going to call him the Punisher. He is one of the few actors that I did not like in Jessica Jones. I feel like his performance was just completely wooden. He worked way better in the early episodes when he was just the sex buddy, just the person for Patty to say, hey, last night was fun, but shut up, don't talk. The reason they're seeding this IGH stuff, like, connecting all these enhanced people to this IGH company, the Pills, Jessica Jones, Kilgrave, the reason they're trying to connect this is because they're trying to create more mythology that they can dig into in season 2. Like Officer Simpson says he's re-upping with his old group, and it looks like this Hydra-type organization. They're very organized. We're gonna do good things together, son. They answered 0 questions about that, so that's all season 2 stuff. Just consider it off in the distance. But the Simpson character, or Nuke, however you want to think of him, is a villain from the Daredevil comics, but he also crosses over with a lot of Captain America comics too. Think of him as a more sinister version of the Punisher. He wants to do good, he wears the flag, but he just goes completely overboard, he's just out of control. The organization in the comics that Nuke is tied to is called the Weapon Plus program. You could thank Grant Morrison for that. It's like the US government responding to the potential threat of a mutant human war, so it tries to create its own super soldiers. Will Simpson is just part of that. The characterization kind of comes through in the Jessica Jones version of the character. Like he's trying to kill Kilgrave because he's like, we can't prosecute him, he's too dangerous. But he's just so over-the-top nuts that he completely kills everyone else because he thinks they're gonna stop him from killing Kilgrave. So I'll say, like, of any of the storylines that I didn't really like during Jessica Jones, I didn't like the Will Simpson stuff. I feel like they just needed like a version of Kilgrave for Patsy to overcome. And that was actually the fun part when she takes the pills. Who else thought that that's what they were headed the minute she took the pills from Will? The first time she ran afoul of him after he came back on the pills. Like she took some, stuck them in her pocket. It's like, oh yeah, she's definitely gonna take those. She almost dies, they bring her back, and she's just like, hell yeah, that was so amazing. Is this what you feel like all the time, Jessica? So just expect more crazy Patsy stuff like that in season 2. She was a lot of fun. I love the Patsy character. I'm so glad that it was her and not Carol Danvers. Captain Marvel, very awesome character in the Marvel universe, but I think she'll work just a lot better in the movies than she would in a TV show like this. Then we got to talk about Luke Cage under Kilgrave's control. It was so fun watching him bull rush him, and Kilgrave just had to like put his hand up. What do you want with me? I want to kill you. Take a bloody number. We also learned that Jessica is able to severely injure Luke with a shotgun blast to the head. Now, he has super strong skin, but his internal organs are not super strong. They're just normal internal organs. So if they needed to operate on his internal organs, they could also go in through his mouth if they had to. But no, this Netflix version of Luke Cage is completely normal underneath his skin. The skin is just this hard layer. So if you ever wanted to take him down, you just bash his head really hard against the curb. If you never read World War Hulk, whenever Hulk comes back from Planet Hulk, just wanting to destroy every hero in the Marvel Universe, in order to take Wolverine down, because Wolverine has a healing factor, the only way Hulk can stop him is by bashing his head so hard that it turns his brain into mush, so Wolverine is incapacitated while his brain regenerates. But if you felt like the episodes started to drag towards the middle of the run, I feel like these last couple of episodes is where the energy gets cranked up. Like between episodes 9 and 12, I'll say episode 9 is probably still my favorite. Now I'm going to do a separate video for episode 13, but if you guys want, you can ask me questions about that too, like the way it ends, season 2 stuff. I'm going to do an episode 13 video, and then I'll do a season 2 predictions video, like, for storylines that I think they should do or characters I think they should bring in. But let me know in the comments, what was your favorite thing from this last block of episodes, and what do you think is going on with this IGH group? Do you think they're connected to Hydra, or do you think they're their own separate thing? My thoughts with the IGH, because they don't really tie into a specific comic book group, is that they're going to be this separate entity, that they might be able to loosely connect to Hydra, but they probably won't. There was this line in a recent Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, if you haven't been watching it, where they say Hydra is a very complex organization, and the idea is that Hydra is a secret organization that has its own secret organizations inside of it that Hydra members don't know about. So IGH could be one of those, but if like every 1 in 10 person in a place of authority is connected to Hydra, then IGH probably has some loose ties to it. And just to clarify, they haven't picked Jessica Jones up for season 2 officially yet, but I would expect an announcement within the next couple of weeks. Usually they wait just a little while. In case you guys haven't seen it, I posted a Batman v Superman video. You can click here to watch that, learn all about the next teaser that's coming, and you can click here for the Captain America Civil War trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.